This is
Valorant.
This
Heritage.
is the Valorant Heritage, says Sunny C. It is. What you're about to witness is a Valorant Heritage stream, everyone. Bear with me 1 second. I'm just getting up the various things that I will need to get up for this stream. Okay, so today we're going to do 4 things. Am I here? Nope. Camera's not on. It's not too late to get the Rango watch party, by the way. It's not too late. Yeah, we're going to do 4 things today. I'm just going to put off the sub-goal, though. And I'm going to take off the Ascend stuff. Just because this will probably be a video. You know how people kept complaining about the number of games? Gen G have played 36! No way! They played 36 games this year? That's crazy. So what? They could play a possible... Fucking hell, I mean... Show the chat? Yeah, I can show the chat. Chat, where are you? You're there. So I should probably be up in this corner. Yeah, chat there we go. You're on.
Does the thumbnail mean that me and Carlos are in the top 10?
Maybe it does. Maybe it does. I just thought it was funny. You're notably below Carlos, though. To be honest. So, yeah. We're going to do 4 things today. Here's the order that I'm going to do them in. Number 1, we're going to power rank champs. Then number 2, we're going to power rank all 44 VCT teams. Then we're going to do my pick'ems for champs. And then we're going to do my top 10. That's the order of operations for today. So yeah, we're gonna a lot of discussion will be had, I'm sure. You can all have your say. I am farming content in a way, but I just thought it was better to just do it all in one. I might as well do it all in one, right? And you can all have your say in terms of what you want in terms of all that stuff. So yeah, we're gonna do all of that. It's gonna be a long mess. We are also, by the way, doing in the Discord. I'm not sure if the form is out yet, but very shortly coming to a Discord, TMV community Discord near you will be a form where we're gonna figure out what the Discord thinks is the top 10 players of champs. So you're all gonna have, you can all have your own little sheet, and then we'll tally it all together, and we'll find out what the TMV's Discord community. Okay, Kid says it's not out, but I can announce it right now. I mean, you can if you want. Rango when? Well, I mean, the sub goal was slightly off. Where's the sub goal? We're slightly off, as you can see. So unlucky. Please do it anyways. Maybe I'll consider it. Playing comp after playing Throw City once is so different. Feels like I'm playing with brainless people in comp. There you go. There's a Throw City, love letter. Thought we're adding YouTube members. That is adding YouTube members. I subtracted it from 1,000 to whatever it was without the YouTube members. It's not too late though. I said I would end it at this stream, so it's still not too late. I can't read it, to be honest. It's too small. In fact, if I come here, come onto this. What is it on? What the fuck is goals on this? There you go. 902 of 941. 39 needed. It's close, but not quite there. 07, exactly. 07. Unlucky. Did I see the interviews about the matchups that the players did not hold back? I saw little quotes from it. Yeah, I thought that was kind of some of the Americas players. In fact, whilst we're just waiting for people to filter in, of course, let's just quickly talk about, the groups in general. Obviously, we'll do this a bit more when we get to the pick'ems, but just let's quickly talk about it. So I think Fnatic and DRX got a pretty good group here. I think this is, not too bad. overall for Fnatic and DRX. Crew maybe have a chance. You know, maybe they could beat DRX, but I don't know. And Bilibili, obviously, I mean, people wrote them off before. You know what? What chance is there that Bilibili get out of this group? I don't think they're going to beat Fnatic. Could they beat DRX and Crew? Maybe. Maybe. Obviously, Group B is the group of death. Now, here's the thing about this group. People are calling it the group of death. But the truth of the matter is, if Sentinels, Team Heretics, and FPX play to the standard that they have, like in the past couple weeks, this is not a group of death. This is a Gen G will stomp this group, and it will be a battle for second. It's what this group is. If they play at that level. If they play at their best level, this is a group of death. But if they play at the level they've been at the last, you know, little bit, like last year's Group D, exactly. That's what I'm trying to get at test 1, 2, 3. Last year's Group D, which I'll just show you. It's not what I wanted to click. Fuck's sake. Last year's Group D, people called a group of death. People called this a group of death. But really, it was a group of Loud were good, and everyone else was kind of mid when it came down to it. And Loud started off mid in that tournament because they're playing bad comps. So, yeah, you don't know what it's actually going to be like, right? Like, if these teams just crash out straight away, no, it's not going to be known as a group of death, is it, if they play shit? Group C, though, is a group of life. I mean, this is a true group of life. Lev, I mean, G2 will be kicking themselves that they didn't win that game just for this draw alone. This is an actual group of life. Talon, I think, are the worst 4 seed. Trace are the worst 3 seed. Vitality are probably the worst 2 seed. And Lev are probably only better than EDG. So, yeah, this is not amazing.
I'm calling it. Gang are going out 1-2.
That is bold, Akuma. I don't see a world where that happens, I'll be honest. I think they've just come through too much to do that. Then you've got Group D. Group D, I think, is this is a tough group. This might actually end up being the group of death. Because if EDG and Foot turn up and they're actually good, this could be the group of death. Think Talon will shock me? Maybe. I mean, you got G2. Yeah, I saw what Jonas said about Paper Rex, that they're more of a choker than us, which is funny. But yeah, this could be a very tough group. Paper Rex might not make it out of this group. Like, this is a very much they really easily could not make it out, and then there's going to be questions asked of this team and what really happens going forward. If that happens. But yeah, not an easy group at all. Not an easy group for any of them. I think this is the one. This is the group where you'll get a lot of difference, I think, in terms of the pick'ems and who people. Most people will probably, I guess, pick G2 and Paper X to go out, but I don't know about that. I actually don't know about that. But then again, I'm a Foot fan, so that is what it is. Speaking of those teams, let's rank those teams. So this is the first thing we're going to do today. We're going to rank the champs teams. Now, these all will be made into videos because I'm lazy and I'm just being very productive. It's going to save me a lot of fucking time, this. So, yeah, let's do this. I don't know where. I haven't given this any thought whatsoever. So I'm just going to do it as we do it. But, yeah. Sorry about the terrible logos, but I didn't make this, so unlucky. Okay. Let's begin. So today we're going to take a look at power ranking the champions teams. We're going to start again. See, this is the thing. What should my intro be? I've got it. So today we're going to take a look at ranking the champions teams from S to D. We're going to be helped out here by my Twitch and YouTube chat. They're all going to spam hi YouTube now. There you go. And yeah, we're gonna rank these teams now. I will do a pick'ems as well, my actual pick'ems for the games, but this is just to giving us a general sense of where are these teams? You know, who are these teams? Are they any good? Let's just start off and let's just go from, I guess, you know, the order. I didn't make this tier list, which is why some of the logos are kind of weird. But let's just start from the top, shall we? DRX, who finished in second place in Pacific. An interesting team, a team that I think surprised a lot of people and were better. A lot of people in the chat spamming A tier. Absolute everyone seems to think A tier, which I think it makes sense, right? Are DRX an S tier team? I think you could probably say almost certainly not. But they have looked good. Now, I personally, if we're just thinking about like, where do I think DRX will finish? And kind of think of it in that sense. I think their expectation, DRX, will at least to be to make the playoffs. How deep will they go in playoffs, though? I think you're looking at, like, you know, probably anywhere from 5th to 8th as most likely their finish. So that, to me, is putting you in that, like, high B, low A kind of range. Just in terms of where I perhaps think they probably will finish and where they... I wonder what their expectation as a team is, DRX. They're probably not expecting to win it, but... at home, of course, as well, in Korea. The chat thinks low A. I think that they did enough against Gen G to say yes. I'm going to put them... Probably will end up low A. I think that's fair. Well, I mean, we're starting with some of the more interesting teams off the rip, I think. With Team Vitality as well, because Team Vitality, of course, are a team that didn't have much expectation, but then finished second in EMEA. And, you know, looked fairly good, I think, throughout doing that, you know, including really stomping Team Heretics, which I think a lot of people were surprised by. So a lot of the chat saying kind of, you know, in the Bs, you know, kind of, get it, they're the Bs. I mean, do you have to put them in B because they're the Bs? That's actually a fair point. Vitality. Are they a B tier team? Now, again, I like to look a bit more at the, you know, not just the playoffs and what they did in the playoffs, but maybe in the couple of weeks leading up to it as well. And Vitality throughout this entire season have been a, you know, kind of like a good team that's had its ups and downs. Yeah, I think I have to agree with the chat, though. I think, one, because they are the Bs, I have to put them in B, but also I think that is pretty fair ranking on where they are overall as a team right now. Though I think that maybe Vitality are a good dark horse choice in terms of not a lot of people will expect, you know, a ton from them, but actually I wouldn't be shocked if they did very well. Not winning it, but, you know, got to, like, you know, 5th, 6th, maybe even like 4th place, something like that. That wouldn't necessarily shock me either. Okay. Talon. Now, I'll be honest with you, Talon is another difficult team to rank because obviously they kind of just basically admitted that they kind of gave up. You know, they didn't really try that much in the seeding games, which, okay, but that's a choice to make, and that's their choice, and that's absolutely fine. I still think personally that even with Primi, and Primi obviously is a very good player and, you know, showed some very good mechanics, I'm not too sure. Again, a lot of the chat saying C, some even Ds. And when I'm ranking them versing these teams, I mean, I think D is a little harsh for what Talon are as a team. I think D is a little too harsh overall. And again,
that's the spite. The
cool fish.
Moment. The positioning.
Thanks for the sub.
What a blunder. What a whiff.
Yeah, then again, I'm thinking like, what is my expectation for Talon? So I guess a tier gap for me is like, could Vitality beat DRX? Yes. Right? To me, like, if you play against a team that's 2 tiers above you, it would be, in my opinion, unlikely, very unlikely you would win that game. So by putting Talon in D tier, I'm kind of saying it would be very unlikely that it could beat Team Vitality, which I don't think I think. So I think I'm going to put them on C tier based on that. Like, do I think Talon could beat DRX? Well, no, because DRX stomped them. Could they beat Vitality? Yeah, they'd be underdogs, but yeah. Okay, BLG. Oh, Billy, everyone's favorite team. Now, they are the China 4th seed, so if anyone is going to be D tier, I guess it kind of has to be Billy. And I think that that's, I guess, just my argument right there, summed up in one sentence. Really? They did come on quite a lot, to be fair, from where they were. But I still think I have to put them in D tier. Okay, but the next one is more interesting, perhaps. Which is EDG. Where do EDG go on this list? Again, they somehow managed to finagle their way into winning China. Because of course they did. Classic EDG. Just turn up when it matters. I think we'll have more disagreement on this one. Some of you saying B. Some were lower. Some were saying C. You know, some of you maybe even going D in there. Where do I think EDG would go? See, because obviously when we've seen EDG this year at the international events, they've been awful. They've been getting stomped in some of these games in the internationals. Like, it hasn't been close. Ah, man. They have to be in at least C tier, I think. Are they better than Talon? I would say maybe just. But I think it might just be maybe just. I think I'm going to put them in C tier. Above Talon, but I think I'm going to put them in C tier. Okay, Fnatic. This one I think is fairly simple based on what Fnatic have done ever since Heroes come in. I mean, they just look unbelievable. I don't. If anyone disagrees, I mean, I had to just see an A, but I think most people, they're just S tier. I think most people can understand that. I think that's pretty fine. Oh, and now we come to FPX, and this is where it gets tough again, because in my heart, I want FPX to be good. In my heart, I want FPX to be good. See, a lot of you are saying B. Now, I don't know if I can put them in B tier,
This
though.
is Valorant Heritage.
Wixper, thanks for the 14 months.
I should tell you after all this time that it's actually pronounced whisper. I just thought this was cool when I was 14.
You'll always be Wixper to me. Yes, I agree with Canuto. Who just said if EDG is C, then FPX have to be C. Now, in my heart, I love the way that FPX play because it's bizarre and it's interesting and it's so different. And actually, they agree with me. Like, I was thinking if I was a coach and I just went all in on some of my ideas, they just love playing Yoru, Viper, Fade, Omen. And I was thinking, like, well, these are all the agents that I like as well. So I'm going to put them above EDG, even though they lost to EDG. I don't care. If you're an EDG fan, at me. I don't care. I want them to be better, so I'm putting them in C. They'll B? No. No, you're basing it off their old tournament, but they haven't played that well. Okay, Foot. Now you all know that I am a Foot fan. I've just always liked Foot. Don't quote that. But yeah, I've just always liked this team. A lot of you are saying B. Now here's the thing, I see Foot are an interesting team because if you just take their playoffs, you'll probably think like, you know, they finished as the EMEA 4 seed, you'd probably think like, oh, You know, they're kind of like a C tier team. However, I do think the Foot throughout this entire season in EMEA have consistently been very good. You know, they finished as the was it the 1 seed or the 2 seed? They finished as the 1 seed in EMEA, right? That's how good their regular season was. And so if their regular season was that good, oh, were they the 2 seed? I'm pretty sure that. Oh, they were the 2 seed. Okay. But either way, for an interesting team to rank because their playoffs was bad, but their regular season was incredible throughout the entire season. They got a top 2 seed. And again, I think if we're basing it off, like, do I think Foot could beat DRX, who we agreed were kind of an A tier team? I do think like that wouldn't shock me that much. So I'm going to put them in B tier. But they're an odd B tier team. They might be the lowest B tier team, I think. Are they lower than Vitality? I mean, I have to go off like on the playoffs. Do I think the Foot are better than Vitality? No, because they still have some problems. I'm happy to put Vitality above them. Okay, now here's an interesting one. G2. G2 lost to Leviathan in the grand final. Obviously, they're towards the top of the list. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. Some of you are saying S. Some of you are saying A. My thing with G2, and I've said this on stream when G2 have been playing as well, is I really do think a lot of their performance in terms of its variability comes from Icy. I think if Icy is having a very good game, they're an S tier team up there with anyone. If Icy is having a bad game, it becomes, I think, a real struggle for them. And there are still some times where they can overcome it, but I think when you, like, just the way the game works, right? Like, if everything is set up for Icy to win fights, right? He's the one going in. He's the one that we're setting all the util for. Like, if he then can't win that fight, obviously you're going to struggle. Whereas if he does always win that fight and then wins, you know, even more than that sometimes, like he does, they obviously are very good. Look, I think on the whole, a lot of people are going to take away from that one game against Lev and the fact that they lost to Lev.
You get shot, you lose the round.
Rejoice, thanks for the 5 months.
Game.
Top of A, S tier when locked in.
Here's where I'm going to disagree with you, though, on that message. I think that G2, when you look at that last game, a lot of people are going to say, well, they lost to Leviathan, so they have to be under Leviathan. But I don't. I'm not one of those people. They lost 2 maps in overtime and won the 3rd map. If they win those 2 overtimes and win the 3rd map and they win 3-0, every single one of you would be saying yes without question. I still think they're an S tier team.
Valorant. Heritage.
Boo.
Sandwich, thanks for the 90 months. I still think they're an S tier team, but low S. But they didn't. Right, here's my argument. You're looking... Just Haynes, thanks for the bits.
You are right, TMV, but they are chokers and lose when it matters.
They are chokers and losers when it matters. That might be fair. That's fair, I think. They might choke. I'm not saying they're going to win the event, but I still think they can be an S tier team. The reason I think this is because the rest of their playoff run and kind of end to the season was so good, and then they just lost 2 overtime maps. And so now it's like, oh, well, they lost two maps to overtime. Well, what about all the other data that you've got where they were, you know, where they stomped Lev? You know, where they stomped Sentinels? You know, where they brushed these teams aside without it even really looking like a contest. Those games happened. So I think they're an S tier team. Low S tier team, but an S tier team. Like, yeah, if I saw Vitality or Foot go up against G2, I would be quite surprised if Vitality or Foot beat G2. Personally. I would be quite surprised if they did. Okay, Gen G. Here we go, General Gen G.
TMV, you know where Gang and Karen belong. I may remind you, if you don't put Karen in the top 10, I will find you, I swear to God.
I think Gen G... Right, here's the only question with Gen G. Do they go above Fnatic? It's just, are they at the top of the list, basically? I think that probably is my 1-2. God, the chat's going crazy. That's probably the 1-2, but are they ahead of Fnatic? Again, my only concern for Gen G really is that banning Abyss. That's my only real concern. Their Sunset I still don't love. But other than their Sunset, which I don't love, and the fact that they're banning Abyss, if they do have an Abyss up their sleeve that is at least okay, I think I'm going to put them at the top of the list. I think I'm going to put them at the top of the list. But I am still a bit... I hope that they have an Abyss. Same is true for Fnatic, by the way. But Fnatic didn't ban Abyss in the last game of EMEA, so I think it's more likely Fnatic do have an Abyss. But I hope that Gen G do as well. Okay, Crew. Crew. I'm going to be real with you. I know Crew played some, a very close game against Lev. I'm a little bit of a Crew doubter overall. I think, again, overall, what they showed us, they had a very, actually, weak split too. They only beat Cloud9, who then, obviously, they beat in the playoffs as well, in a very muddy game. I think Crew are probably a C-tier team. Are they above Talon? Are they above EDG? I think I want to put them below EDG, but maybe above Talon. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to put them. I'm going to put them there, I think. But again, if you want to debate the order of this, that's perfectly reasonable. A lot of you are saying above, but I'll put them in C tier. Okay, now this one, this one might cause a bit of a debate. Where on earth am I putting Paper Rex on this tier list? Some of you are saying A, some of you are saying B. It's obviously it's the very lowest, I think, would be at the top of B. Is probably like the lowest I'd put them. I don't think you can make a case that they're an S tier team coming into this tournament right now. So it's probably like a mid-A, high to high B is probably where it is. But where exactly do I think the Paper Rex are? Again, I'm trying to think, like, would I be surprised if, and this game might happen, would I be that surprised if EDG beat Paper Rex? How surprising would that be in my mind, based off what we've seen? I think that would be fairly surprising, actually. I do think that I would be quite disappointed if Paper Rex lost to EDG, which is a game that could happen because they're in the same group. They have played each other against each other a lot, haven't they? So I guess that makes them an A-tier team in my mind. Could Paper Rex beat G2? Would I give them I would give them a chance. It's Paper Rex. I'll put them in A-tier. I'd give them a chance. God, it doesn't get any easier. Look at the next two as well. This is not going to be easy. Sentinels. Okay, Team Heretics. No. Let's talk about Sentinels. Why would I put Sentinels on this list? Would I favor Sentinels if they played against Foot or FPX? or Vitality. I don't think that... I don't think you can put them in A tier, personally. With the way things are right now. But I do think they are probably a B tier team. Between Fnatic and G2, I think they're probably right now a B tier team. With the way they've looked. They're also obviously in this group of death, apparently. We'll see how that plays out. Like, they play Gen G, right? So Sentinels play Gen G map game 1. I would be quite surprised if Sen beat Gen G. I would be like, oh, that's like a pretty big upset. So that to me says that they're probably not an A tier team and more of a B tier team. Because if Paper Rex or DRX managed to best Gen G, I'd be a bit like, oh, okay. But not shocked. But I think I would be quite shocked if Sen beat them. So I think they're a B tier team. But it's just where do I put them in that B tier? You know what? I'm gonna split the difference. I'm gonna put them below Vitality and above Foot. Or do I put them at the top? Are they better than Vitality? I'm gonna give Vitality some respect. I'm gonna put them in the middle. Team Heretics. Oh wait, first, Sen fans, how are we feeling? First, I want to see the Sen fans. I agree. Sen on mid. Fair. I hate you. You think A tier? Meh. Again, I would be quite surprised if they beat Gen G. Team Heretics, though, are another team that are an interesting one on this list. You know what? I might put them right next to Sen. I think that's a great spot for Team Heretics where they are right now. I might put them right next to Sentinels. No way?
So listen, I was a Heretic believer ever since Split 1, but they depend on one thing, that being their Neon obsession. If they continue to play her on every map, they are a almost low A. If they instead let Woot or Mini play a different duelist, they are a top 3 team and could make it.
Oh, cut off. Sen got here because someone else lost. That is true. But are you not concerned at all that they got absolutely rolled by Vitality? How in good faith? Right, so when I said Vitality, so many of you said B. So many of you just straight away went B, B, B. Everyone kind of went, yeah, B tier, whatever. Vitality destroyed Heretics. Just a bad day. One bad game. What? You're saying fluke. One bad game. It was a fluke. Well, if I go on their results, Mr. Chat. Oh, hold on. Here's another game played between, oh look, Team Heretics and Team Vitality. Let's check the results of this. Oh. Oh, Team Vitality won again. So what is this? What is this one game?
Remember Sen beat Team Liquid in the off-season, so they have to be S.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Don't care. Team Heretics are better. How's Foot in the same tier then? Bad day. They had a bad day. What do you mean? I'm not saying putting them in a different tier. I'm saying that they should be in the same tier with Vitality. I mean, look, I do understand the argument. The Team Heretics' potential is very high. And I do think, again, if I'm going off the kind of how, like, if you're a B tier team, I need to be pretty surprised if you beat an S tier team. Would I be that surprised if Team Heretics pulled it together and were able to beat a Gen G, Fnatic, or G2? Probably not. I've kind of given Paper Rex that bit of bias as well. I've kind of given given Paper Rex a bit of like, you could pull it together, you could be good. So I think I might have to lend a hand to Vitality to Heretics as well.
To be fair to Sen, they looked really good in Stage 2. That game they lost in playoffs as he was going through it and John Cutie had to go to the hospital after. No, I'm not coping.
Yeah, but you know that they're going to lick some doorknobs in Korea and the same things are going to happen. Did they look really good in Stage 2? I don't know if they looked really good in Stage 2. I thought they looked better. Better than they did in Stage 1. But they also got, like, farmed by G2 in the game, no? Look, I'm going to put... Anyway, back to Team Heretics. I'm going to put Team Heretics... Like, Team Heretics and Paper Rex, I think, are in a similar sort of situation right now. I actually think that Heretics might have more potential than Paper Rex, though. Do I think that? Yeah, I think I do. But I don't want to put Team Heretics that high. I don't want to put Team Heretics that high. It's okay, Lev might knock them down a spot.
You get shot, you lose the round, you lose the game. It's an FPS game.
It's a sneeze steak.
I feel like I've been here forever, but I really haven't.
Thanks for the, what was that, 4 months? Yeah, you're a baby. Team Heretics got destroyed. No, I'm putting Paper X above them. No, I'm not. I'm sticking with my guns. Team Heretics are... Yeah, we're going with this. Team Heretics are there. I'm happy with that. Trace. Trace, I think, is a fairly easy one. I'm going to put Trace in the C tier. I'm going to put Trace... Sorry, Trace. I think you have to go here. Until you prove it. I mean, their logo is amazing. But you have to go here. And then finally, Lev. Now, Lev, to me, see, a lot of you will argue that they're above G2, but I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I mean, then again, G2. C's too crowded? No, that's not how tier lists work. Would I be so... Yeah, I would be. If Lev lost to Vitality, how surprising would that be? Pretty surprising. But not... Like, again, for these A-tier teams, like, if these S-tier teams lost to a C-tier team, it'd be like, what the hell is going on? If an A-tier team lost to a C-tier team, it'd be like, ooh, that's strange. No one would have predicted that, but, you know, it's still actually possible. If Lev lost to FPX, how surprised would I be?
Lev are regular season merchants. The same thing like in Shanghai will happen.
Yeah, I think I have to go. I think I'm gonna do that. I'll put. They've got Aspas, and even though sometimes he's stats pass, he is still Aspas. So, yeah. Okay, I think that's the list. Goodbye. Okay, you can go crazy about the list. What we're gonna do next, by the way, is we're gonna take this, we're gonna apply it to this. So the way that I probably think this is gonna work, because now we're doing all 44 teams, is probably everyone gets. You are probably the S tier teams. You're probably the A tier teams. And BLG will be at the top of B, I think.
Keep doubting PRX more. We will rise again and win champs. This is not coping and not my dream. PRX all the way. Also Switzerland clears.
Why all 44? Because I wanted to do one last power ranking of everyone. Because this is where the debate really will set in. This is where, you know, the debate will get extremely heated, I'm sure. So this is part 2 of 4. Can I redo the whole list? I mean, well, I'm about to put them on here. Ready? Part 2. Do an F tier? Okay, I can make an F tier. Hold on. F. What color should it be? Gray. Dark gray. Okay. Welcome to the final power ranking.
You should just not rank RRQ.
What a good mod. Welcome to the final power ranking of the season. Today we're going to rank all 44 VCT teams in one big list for the last time in 2024. Well, that's the map. That's not what I wanted. Now the chat, again, is going to say hi YouTube. They definitely, you know, haven't done this before. Don't worry about it. But what you need to know is that I've already done a champs video of the tier list for that. So go and check that out if you haven't. So that's going to form the basis of kind of the first part of this tier list that we'll get into. Right. So what was the order? It was Gen G 1. Then Fnatic. Then G2. Then Lev. Fuck a Lev there. Then yeah, I think the A tier teams will become S tier teams. So then it was what? DRX. DRX, Team Heretics, Paper Rex. Then the B tier teams will become A tier teams. So Vitality, Sentinels, Foot. I think the C tier teams will also be A tier teams. FPX, EDG, Crew, Talon, Trace. And BLG at the top of B. Okay. Trace are not A. Bro, why are you doing that? This is on the whole year, yeah. Trace can't be A. What, you want Trace to be B? Trace is S. I think Trace deserves an A. Give him an A. Okay, so this is basing off my champs list. We've kind of reordered it. This is the order that it was. The first thing is, obviously, these are the teams that made champs. And so this is kind of basing off, you know, the whole season. But, you know, obviously where we are right now, we've got these teams up there. And we might reorder this, to be honest, if we want to do it for the entire season. You know, how these teams have performed as the season. We can get into that. In fact, actually, let's do that instead. That's a good idea. Okay, so these are my teams from champs, and these are the teams that, you know, have gone to champs. Now, the way that I want to do this list is more about the entire overall season. So I've kind of put them all up there into where they might be. But if we're basing this off an entire season, you know, we might want to rejig some things. So, for instance, Sentinels won Masters Madrid. So I suppose that has to make them an S tier team of the entire season, right? They have to be up here in terms of an entire season. But where would we put them? You might put Team Heretics overall season slightly ahead of Sentinels, but is this a Gen G are obviously number 1. I don't think anyone would compare that. But have Sentinels had the 3rd best season? Or is it better than Team Heretics? I mean, some of you will argue that winning a tournament is better.
Where is Cloud9?
We'll get to Cloud9 in a second. Maybe, in fact, I should just reset the list and we'll just go through them on the whole as a season. Yeah, I think that's actually probably a better way of doing it. Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, we gotta delete some rows. Delete. S, A, B, C, D, F. Make this a horrible gray. Gray. Okay, there we go. Start again, shall we? Welcome to my final power ranking of 2024. In this power ranking, we're going to rank all 44 VCT teams on the season that they have just had in 2024. My YouTube and Twitch chat on the live stream are here to join us once more and give their thoughts that are almost certainly wrong there, so you can see what the global public thinks. But yes, we're going to be going through all the teams and how their 2024 season went. So let's begin. 100 Thieves. Now, obviously, these first couple teams we can talk about, you know, where they should be overall, in terms of how their season was and how good they actually are. 100 Thieves, interesting one. Basically, just turned up in the middle of the season, and then went to bed for the rest of it. To be honest. Man, that's an interesting one. So they won their regional, right? They won Americas for stage 1. I think overall for 100 Thieves, considering they did win a regional tournament, I feel obviously they're not going to be an S tier team, I don't think. But I think an A tier team is probably fair for a team that did win a regional tournament. They didn't go to champs. There is an argument for a B tier team, but we'll start with them in A. This could change for these early teams, like how they actually did. But yeah, we'll just go as we go. C? High B. Overthinking? I mean, we'll get to who we think the A tiers are. AG. AG had a really poor start to the season, but then kind of came along and did okay, but didn't make it to champs, so I'm gonna put them in the C tier. BBL, I think, are another classic C tier team. Obviously, we have a lot of teams to go through, so I'm not going to be spending too long on every single team. But BBL, again, a team that maybe could have, you know, done something if a couple of results went another way, but I think probably a C tier team. Bleed, I think you might be coming into the gray, Bleed. I actually don't. I'll Bleed last on the list. They honestly might be. You have to go in the F tier, Bleed. Okay, BLG. They made it to champs. They actually had a pretty, you know, mid-season overall. Didn't do a ton early on in the year. So let's go for B tier, I think, for BLG. Cloud9. Okay, Cloud9. Interesting one. Where do you think Cloud9 should be? Where should Cloud9 be? How was Cloud9's season overall? Hearing some B's, some C's for C9. C's for C9. See, the thing is with Cloud9, they actually did have... I mean, to be fair, their second split was really bad. Their first split was good, though. They went like, what, 5-1 or something in the first split. So that was good. But yeah, I think... I'm going to put them in the B tier. They made both playoffs. I think they're going to end up being a low B tier team, if I had to guess. DFM. They won a game this year. It's an improvement for DFM. They won a game. They won a game. But they're still in the D tier. Are they in the F tier? I mean, you could honestly... I know some of you won't want to, but they could be in the F tier. DFM. Is it D for DFM or is it F for the FM? I'll be kind to them. Let's put them in D. DRG made it to Masters Shanghai. Didn't make it to Champs. I think that's a B tier season for DRG overall. Not too bad, but not great. DRX perhaps should have made it to Shanghai. Could have made it to Madrid. Didn't. Made it to Champs in the end. Looking good towards the end of the season. Probably an A tier team. See, this is difficult, obviously, because we don't have the results of Champs. But let's put them above 100 Thieves overall on the season, because they did have a good regular season as well. Ooh, interesting one, EDG. I think EDG probably have to end up in the A tier as well. EDG won every single China regional tournament. They've done pretty bad in the international tournaments, but I think overall you still did win 3 regional tournaments. You could even make an argument that does make them an S tier team, but I don't want to because their international performances were so bad. Then I'm gonna put them in the A tier. But I'll still put them above DRX because winning 3 regional tournaments is still good. EG. Ooh, EG are an interesting one. Where are EG? Because their expectations coming into the year were very low. They overachieved expectations, but didn't quite do enough. A lot of you are saying C. I think C is fair. I think EG, yeah. Okay, actually in a bit of a similar mold to BBL. So maybe let's just put them next to BBL. Fnatic. See, now, if we're basing this off expectation, actually, you could argue that Fnatic have underachieved. But I think, considering where they are now, and, you know, going into Champs, I think they still probably have to be S. You know, they just won a regional tournament as well, so I'll put them in S. FPX. Ooh, FPX. They obviously had... I don't think I can put them in S. I know. Shanghai was crazy. They didn't win a regional tournament. If they would have won a regional tournament, maybe I would have done. But they also didn't make it to playoffs. I know that everyone wanted them to make playoffs, and they made a massive impression at that tournament. But they actually didn't make it to playoffs. Which is sad. I mean, they did lose to Genji and Heretics, which is tough. I'll put them in A. I'll put them above EDG because of that kind of overachievement at Shanghai, and it was crazy cool to see. So I'll put them in A. I think they'll probably end up being the highest A tier team. Furia. Is this an F for Furia? I mean, they came on slightly towards the end of the season, but my goodness. Was it F or D? They came back, so D. I could see that. They did almost 13-0 Cloud9. I mean, so yeah. Let's put them in D. Foot. I think Foot are just a clear A tier team, no? Just a good season. Just had a good year, basically. They didn't... I mean, EDG did win 3 regionals, so I have to give them that. But, yeah. Foot, good year. A tier. G2. Finished 3rd in an international tournament. Made it to Champs. That's a pretty good year. I think that has to be an S for G2. Is that better than Fnatic's year? I mean, they finished 3rd in an international. I might actually argue it is. Yeah. Global esports. Ooh. Global esports. D or F? I mean, they were better than DFM. I mean, maybe that's just the bleed tier. Who knows? I'll put them in the D tier. I'll throw them a bone. Gen G, there's no debate. They're going at the top of the list. That's an easy one for Gen G. Very easy. Giants, probably a C or D tier team. They did come on towards the end of Split 2.
Hi F, banish them, they're a minion, PLS send to F.
No, I'm not going to, General Gen G. Oh, yeah, Giants are a C to D tier team. You know what? I'll throw them a bone. I'll put them in low C. I'll throw them a bone. JDG actually somehow made playoffs. They had an awful start to the season. I think they were 11th at the start after Split 1. But did somehow make it to playoffs in Split 2. Still, that's not an amazing season. So let's just put them... let's just put them by AG, I guess. Because they did make it to playoffs in Split 2. I suppose that's something. Karmine Corps. Now, this one's a strange one. They won EMEA kickoff. Promised so much and then did nothing. Above C9? I think I would put them at the top of B. Yeah, someone just said top of B.
PLS put FNC first.
Floritis, in what world is Gen G not first? Like, of all the rankings on the list, there is literally only one position that there is literally no argument over who is top of the list, and that's Gen G. There is only one team at the top of the list. Wizardly! Thanks for the 7 months. Like, there's only one team at the top of the list. Make a Gen G. I might make a Gen G tier. If this was after... I'll tell you what. If Gen G win champs and it's after champs, I'd make 2 tiers for Gen G to be on their own. Anyway, Karmine Corps. Karmine Corps, I think, are a top of B team. I think they just disappointed so much after that first win that it sours the taste. I mean, maybe they do actually deserve A tier, but you get B tier. T Rizzy, thanks for the sub.
What a blunder!
Thanks for the prime. Koi. Oh, it was a rough go for Koi. But they weren't as bad as Bleed. And they were probably in the same tier as everyone else here. So I'll put them in that tier. Crew. Another interesting one. Did make champs. Had a good first regular season as well. But didn't make it to Shanghai. Is this an A tier for Crew? I think an A tier. Is making champs better than winning? I don't think it's... I mean, we'll see what Crew do at champs, obviously. That will depend on this a lot. I think 100 Thieves overall winning Americas was slightly better. But I still think Crew probably A tier. Maybe Karmine Corps should be A tier based on that argument. Maybe that's harsh on Karmine Corps. Am I harsh on Karmine Corps? Nah, kickoff isn't the same as winning a split. In my opinion. Leviathan. Made it to Shanghai. Bombed out. Won Americas and champs. For champs, sorry. I think, yeah, like top A. Probably above Foot. Potential to be an S tier if they do well at champs. If we were doing this after champs, maybe they would be S. Loud. Ooh, Loud. C tier? D tier? Seraphim, 25 months.
How is my favorite British man doing? One day, when the sun finally shines on your country, you will notice God speak to you via a ray of sunshine kissing your pale skin. And only then will you realize your mistake, that Aspas is God's gift to Valorant.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Well, we'll see who I put in my top 10 list, shall we? I mean, if we're talking expectations versus reality, You might even argue F. You know what? I'm going to put them in the D tier. I think this was a bad year for Loud. A really bad year for Loud. They did make it. No. I'm putting them in the C tier. They made it to Masters Madrid. Well, you know what? I literally erased that from my mind. They did make it to Masters Madrid. Actually finished 4th in Masters Madrid. Maybe I put them next to KC in the naughty corner. Bottom B. Yeah, let's put them at the bottom of B. Gentle mates. Yeah, you're in this group of C with this this group of bottom EMEA teams. It's just a bunch of C tier teams. MIBR. Or MIBR, the second F tier team. They won one game, the last game of the season. They didn't win a map until very late. I have to put them in F. There wasn't as much drama, so I won't put them at the bottom, but I'll put them in F. Navi. See, Navi didn't make any internationals, unlike Loud. So Navi, I mean, compared to expectation of where the season was, this is about as bad as it gets, really. But they were good at a certain point. They did make playoffs at least. Like, it wasn't a complete disaster, and they were very good for a brief moment. I'm going to put them in the C tier. I'm going to put them in C. You think it can't get worse? It can always get worse. It can always get worse. Ask Bleed if it can get worse. Nova weren't very good. They're in this D tier, I think, with these guys. NRG. Ooh, NRG. I mean, NRG had about as bad of a year as you could get, really. Compared to, like, that's the thing. Like, Navi at least were good for parts of this season. Even the way that it ended was bad. I think I'm going to put them in F. Paper Rex. That's another interesting one. Paper Rex. They did win Pacific once. They've been to all 3 internationals. I think that's but is that S tier for Paper Rex? Because they didn't do that. I mean, they did finish 3rd in Masters Madrid. Again, it doesn't feel like they finished 3rd in Masters Madrid, but they technically did. It did happen. If you look at the results, it says Paper Rex finished 3rd. So S but bottom. They're either the top of A or bottom of S, Paper Rex, I think. Like, based on that whole... I know right now things aren't looking great. I think I'm going to put them at the top of A. RRQ. Ooh, RRQ. Are they just in this C tier of teams that, like... Or are they in the B tier? Are they, like, high C? RRQ are top C team? I think they might be. Sentinels. Look, they made champs and they won a tournament. So they have to be an S. I think they have to be second, honestly. I know so many of you are not going to agree with that, but they won a tournament and made champs. Winning a tournament is quite a big deal. They also did win kickoff.
Bat chest.
No Shanghai? Yeah, but G2 didn't make... These two didn't make Madrid. These won a tournament. You play to win the game. Very nice. How Paper X in A? That's fair. Yeah, maybe Paper X should be up there. They did make all of the tournaments. But so did EDG. Maybe Fnatic should be down here. I mean, G2, compared to expectation, G2 were not expected to be. This is why it's such a good year for G2. They're an Ascension team. And they finished third in the Masters. And are looking good for champs. I guess if we're going off like how this, I think Fnatic should be in here. Yeah, Fnatic should be A. They had an okay year.
Please lower KC. Poor when got to international, then fell off and disappointed when it matters.
But they still did win a regional tournament. Like, that's the thing. Like, they do still have something to show for it.
I won't gift any subs if you put FNC in A.
You won't gift any subs for this if you put... I mean, okay. That's fair enough. T1. We're moving on. That's it. No debate. T1. T1, they went to an international. I think T1 are in this Carmine Core sphere. This top of B disappointing sphere. Trace overall had a good year. They've made it to champs. They almost made it to all the other ones. I'm not quite sure. I think I might put them at the top of B. You know, made an international. In fact, maybe Cloud9 should be in C. Like, all these teams have made an international that I've put up here. I'm starting to realize. And Cloud9 just stick out like a sore thumb. Maybe they should be top of C. I think that's a fair way of doing it, to be honest. And 100 Thieves? 100 Thieves won split one.
Guys, FNC is over Sen. Even though they did not play to win a tourney, they did play for a cool vacation, D.
That's the spike!
Number one, Joshi!
The positioning!
Just got a gift from Floritus. Okay, Tech. Tech had a bad year. Very bad. Where's the RB fan guy? I'm going to put them in D. Oh, they could be F, though. They beat Wolves. Tech beat Wolves somehow. Some of these... Okay, let's put them in F. Why not? Team Heretics! Have to be an S. I think they have to be there. Even though they haven't won anything, I think they have to be there. Team Liquid. Where's Kexi when you need him? Team Liquid. Do I just add them to this group over here at the bottom of C? A lot of you saying F. Was that much expected of Team Liquid? Maybe if you did, you're just... I don't know. You're just blind.
Liquid is easily top 2, and they ain't number 2.
Why are there so many delusional Liquid fans? I'm going to put them in this list with all these other EMEA teams.
PLS make a Kexa tier for Team Liquid.
Drop safe equals F. They're going in here. No.
Are you taking bribes to put Liquid higher?
Absolutely not. Talon. They made champs. I guess that makes it B tier.
They have Yamp
you
until 2027, right?
I think so, number one, Joshy. Yeah, Talon, I think, are a clear B tier team.
There is exactly 0 arguments for Fnatic and PRX being in different tier.
I agree with you, Othinus. What you didn't see is that Floritis bribed me to put Fnatic in S tier. I got bribed. What do you want me to do? Ecologic, thanks for the gift sub.
Even Kexa says to put them in F.
Okay, even Kexi, who is, by the way, the biggest Liquid fan on this planet, actually knows some people inside of Liquid. He wanted me to put them F, so I'll put them F just for you. I'll put them at the top of F. I'll give you a little, little seasoning there. Top of F. Team Secret, the team that just cannot make an international. I think they're going at the top of C. The team that didn't quite make it.
TMV for president, you'll fit right in.
Thanks, Akuma. They gotta be B. They didn't make an international though, so that's it. I like this, that to get B tier you have to have made an international. I think that's fair. I think that's a good way of doing it. Tyloo. D. Vitality. I mean, they finished second. Could they be A? I don't think they quite deserve A. They might be like top of B. Like just looking at. Then again, what have Crew done to get A? I guess if Crew are A, then you're A. But I think Crew should be B. I think looking at how I've kind of managed this list. And again, DRX. Huh. Maybe you should be up there. Maybe Trace should be an A. If you weight champs as more important, then I guess Trace should be an A as well. Champs is more important for the orgs. From an org standpoint, making champs is more important.
Would you take any bribes to make a DRG tier above the rest of the list just for the greatest team in VCT history, Dragon Ranger Gaming?
Talon should be an A. That's a good point. Is champs worth an A tier? I think it might be. I think it might be. The Great Redistribution Act. Or I could move all of them down. Hundred Thieves B. Fine, you all want 100 Thieves B. I'll put 100 Thieves B. Fine. We've decided that champs is more important, and 100 Thieves are B tier with Calming Core. There, happy. Wolves. And Zeta Division. Am I putting Zeta in F?
I'm the world's biggest Zeta Division coper, but hear me out. They spent all year rinsing out G over and over, and they beat a team who was going to champs at the end of the season, and there was Hopium for 2-0 over Paper X. Pretty please put Zeta Division in C tier, as and Dap deserve it.
I can't put them in C tier, I'm sorry, but for that message I will put them in D tier. Just for you. Put them in the bottom of D. Okay. The power ranking of all these teams' seasons. Obviously, again, for the teams in champs, it could change. Obviously, like if Lev won champs, obviously they'd be in high S. But so far, this is the power ranking of everyone's season and how their season went overall. Some of them feel a bit fraudulent like Loud, but it'll have to do. Look, we came up with rules as we went. Okay, part 2 done. Part 3, Pick'ems. Where's champs? Ho ho! Ho ho ho! And then part 4, top 10 list. Okay, Champs Pick'ems. Let's do it. Welcome to my Champs Pick'ems. I once more am joined by the TMV Twitch and YouTube live stream chat. I will be streaming all of Champs. So come and join these wonderful people that you could be in the stream with, as you can see just here, all saying hello. They'll be there with you. Let's dive into these pick'ems, shall we? And these groups. Our first group is Group A. And I would say that this is like, perhaps feels the most traditional of the groups, the most balanced of the groups. We got Fnatic versus Bilibili, which I assume is the first game of Champs. And I'm sorry, Bilibili, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because I think that Fnatic are just the better team. We have DRX versus Crew Esports. This one perhaps a bit more of a game overall, but personally I think that DRX on the whole have looked quite good. And I think Crew, whilst they've had moments, they still have some slop in them. And so I think that DRX overall will just be the favorite for that. I might just go chalk in this group, especially compared to some of the other groups that we'll be looking at for this one as well. BLG versus Crew. Can Bilibili win again? I don't see. This is the thing. I can definitely see a world where everyone writes Bilibili off like they did last time, and Ardis is streaming this game. FNS will be in a call with Ardis when Bilibili beat an America's team. It could happen. It could happen. And if it does happen, that would be very funny. Will it actually happen, though? You know what? I'm going to do it. And then Fnatic would play DRX, and unfortunately for DRX here, this is like a nice classic international game, isn't it? Fnatic, even the colors look nice next to each other of the logos here. But I think that Fnatic would have too much for DRX, unfortunately for them. But I do think that DRX would be good enough to beat your Bilibili, although I could go for a big surprise and pick Bilibili here as well. But I won't. Bilibili only beat America's teams. DRX go through. Submit. Group B. The Group of Death. Now, as I was pointing out a while ago in this stream, there is a chance, I mean, on paper, this does look like a Group of Death. There is a chance that Sentinels, who have been a bit shaky, are just a bit shaky, and they just turn up to Champs and they still are shaky. There's a chance that Team Heretics, who, have been a bit shaky as well, and got rolled by Vitality there. There's a chance that they, don't fix their map pool and are also shaky. And FPX, who I would say haven't played to the heights that they did at Masters Shanghai, that they, don't reach the heights that they did at Shanghai either. And in which case, this Group of Death actually ends up just being, well, Gen G are just way better than everyone else. That, I think, is a possibility.
All I will say is don't underrate gang.
With that said, Gen G versus Sentinels, I think I will pick Gen G. Sorry, Sen fans. But Gen G, you might have heard, are quite good. And Gen G did beat Sentinels before this season in a best of 3. So I'm going to go with that again. FPX versus Team Heretics. That's an interesting game. Again, a lot of people will probably just be thinking, here we go, Team Heretics. Am I going to go for another Chinese surprise? FPX. I mean, remember the game that these teams played in Shanghai? It was an absolute gigabanger game that these two teams played. Can FPX do it?
FPX Dark Horse Run 100%.
And our Shadow One, thanks for 24 months. 2 whole years. Can FPX do it? I really, really kind of want them to, but I don't think they will. I want to pick FPX, but I can't. I just don't see it happening. Sen versus FPX. Man, I mean, everyone is going to call me a Sentinels hater if I don't have them winning this game. But I will have them winning this game. And Gen G, I just think, are better. Sorry, Team Heretics. And then we get Team Heretics versus Sentinels. Team Heretics versus Sentinels. What a game that would be for a decider. Someone goes out, someone goes through. Now, at the very end of this video, before all the groups are started, I'm going to say who I think is going to win this tournament as well. And who I think they'll beat in the final. And it won't be Sentinels. Sorry, Sen City. Submit. Group C. Or the Group of Life, as it is known. The Group of Life. Lev versus Talon. Sorry, Talon, but I'm gonna go Lev there. And Team Vitality versus Trace as well. I think this group is actually pretty straightforward for the most part. Talon versus Trace. This is, you know, perhaps the two games where it gets a bit more interesting, I think. I will go for Talon over Trace, I think. Lev versus Vitality could be close, but I think, well, Aspas versus Safe could be an interesting matchup as well. I think that Lev will have enough about them to beat Vitality, and I think that Vitality will beat Talon. I think this is I know a lot of people will end up picking this group this way, but I think that this will be the chalk kind of group that goes as you expect. Submit.
Talon versus Bilibili Grand Finals, calling it.
Look, if we get a Talon versus Bilibili Grand Finals, I'm all for it. That would be the greatest thing that's ever happened to this esport.
Talon will beat Vite Primi Drops 100.
Okay, Steak Bacon. If you say so. I mean, you can do your pick'ems, that's fine. EDG versus Foot. Ooh. That's a good game. This, I think, Group D, by the way. This is the group that I think could be a group of death. It could be D for death here. Because it's a very close group, I think. You know, so some good teams. EDG versus Foot. I'm going to say... Oh, I want to say Foot because I just automatically lean to Foot. I'm going to say EDG catch their magic back in this game. I'm going to say they get it back. Sorry, Foot. G2 Paper Rex. You know what? I'm going to be bold here. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be very bold. Because I'm going to do something none of you expect. I'm going to pick G2. But that's not what I was talking about. Because I'm going to pick Foot. And I'm going to say the Paper X go out in 2 games. And the fan base starts melting. I'm coping? Maybe I am coping. But I'm doing it. And I'm going to say that G2 beat EDG. And I'm going to have EDG beat Foot. And make it through. Call me a coper. Don't care. Lock it in.
Thank you for not cursing PRX.
Yeah, as the bits message just said, I didn't curse Paper X. The anti-curse is now in full effect. Here's the thing. Here's my prediction of who's going to win this event. I'm going to say that the grand final, in a shock twist, is Team Heretics versus Gen G. And Team Heretics get their revenge and win. I know, it sounds improbable. I know, it sounds like it's not going to happen. But mark my words. it almost certainly won't happen, and Team Heretics will probably go out in 2 in the group of death. But that's my prediction. Not many of you agree with that one. Hey, that's fine. I don't need you to. I don't need you to. You do you. You do your prediction. In fact, I'll make a group right now. Let's make a Pick'ems group right now. Group. Create. There you go. I'll post it in both chats. Hold on. Go and do your Pick'em. Come and join the group. Come and join the group. There you go. There's the code. You know what? I'm gonna run one ad. We're gonna run 1 minute ads, and then we're gonna come back and do the top. We're gonna do the top 10 players. Let me get up my notepad. Got it. Okay, toggle rosters. Okay, we'll wait a minute. Karen better be there. This, I think, is the hardest top 10 ever. And again, we are doing this in the Discord as well. You can go and submit your own forms. In fact, I might just try and get that up now. Yeah, did we post it in the Discord? We did. So yeah, if you go to the Discord, go to the announcements, there is a form. I'll get it up now so you know what it looks like. You will get this form. You will enter this. Whoa, 1,000 bits, Agron Steel.
What would you do if, in the end, it's a PRX versus Sen Grand Final and PRX win the entire thing?
Then I would be happy for Paper Rex. Oh, email. No, my buffoon. Oh, fuck.
Well, we already know that Carlos is at 1 and Cantada Man is at 3, so I can't wait to see who else is on the list.
Oh, well. Too late. What are you going to do? Email me? Who cares? Anyway, let's do this top 10. You can email me anyway. There's an email in my YouTube. People have sent me emails before. Emailing me was always an option. Okay. Yes, people who got banned have emailed me before. That is a true story. People got banned from here and have emailed me before. Is that an encouragement? Well, I mean, I will just... In fact, yeah, I'll just ban anyone who emails me. How about that? Okay. Let's do this top 10 list, shall we? DFE unban request stream where? Did they end it with regards? I can't actually remember, to be honest. Right, so, for those of you who have never seen me do this before, this is the way we do it. Well, first I need to start the video. How about that? Welcome to the top 10 players of Champs 2024 TMV list. This is not going to be easy. For the first section of this video, you're going to see me narrowing down the options with my Twitch and YouTube chat here. They're going to help me decide who of these players should be on my top 10 list. It's going to be difficult. And then at the end, we shall reveal the top 10 that I ended up with. Okay. Let's close these. Let's get up the old notepad. Put that, I'll just put that there for now. Okay, looking at these rosters then, let's get some names on this. What the fuck happened to my notepad? Oh, it looks the same as if you do that. Anyway, okay. So the way I like to do this is first come up with a short list, right? So we'll come up with a short list and then we'll slowly narrow down the players to the top 10 and then we'll order the top 10. That's the way that I like to do this kind of thing. So let's go in order. Lev. Now Mazzino had a great grand final, but is he making the top 10? I don't think so. But Aspas might. That guy might make the top 10. King, I think, is in consideration, but it's going to be so competitive. But I will put him on the short list. In G2, I think I want to put Valen on the short list. I want to put Leaf on the short list. And I want to put Jonah P on the short list. Not sure if any of them will make it or not, but I think worth putting them to at least check. From crew, I mean, I'll put Kesnet on the short list, but again, not sure if he will make it or not. From Sen, we'll put Tens on the short list, and we'll put Zekken on the short list, but I think that's probably it. Some of you will argue for John, but I don't think he's actually making the top 10. I'd be surprised. Fnatic. I'll put Durka and Alpha for sure on the short list. Is Hero making a top 10? Is Hero actually making a top 10? Is Chronicle making the top 10? I'll put them all on the short list for now. Well, sorry, Boaster. Not Boaster, but the rest of them. I haven't looked at Hero's numbers. I mean, obviously I think he's good, but is he making the top 10? I don't know. From Vitality, I think I'm just putting Safe on there. Some of you might argue Trex, which is fair, but I think I'm just putting Safe on there. From Team Heretics, I'm probably putting Rienz. Already in my mind, I kind of think that I'm not putting Miniboo on there. I don't think I am. I'm putting Benji on the list. And I'm putting Woot on the list. But I don't think I'm putting Miniboo on there. From Foot, look, I really like Foot, but I don't think any of them are making the top 10. Sorry. From Gen G, we're putting Texture on there. Again, for IGLing, I'm not taking into consideration IGLing. In fact, I should have said that at the start of the stream. I'll make a little note of that to add in a little filler part of what my top 10 is. In fact, I might do that as we start after we've done the short list. We'll put Meteor on there, put Karen on there. But I'm probably sorry, Pump Kia, sorry, Munchkin. From DRX, I'm putting Buzz on there. I don't think I'm putting anyone else. You could argue Mako, but again, I'm not taking IGLing into account. Look, I'll take a... And some of you are saying Flashback as well. Okay, we'll take a look at Flashback, but again, I would be surprised. Paper Rex! Right, they're going on the short list, but I'm not sure if any of them are making the list. I'm not going to put Mind Freak there, but I'm not sure if any of them are making the list. Talon, you're all going to tell me to put Primi on there, but I'm not going to. Sorry. And then EDG, I'll put Kang. Why does it still say Howdong? So Simon. I might put Life and Ayang on there. Trex not in top 10 as a fumble. You think Trex is making your top 10? Smoggy? I don't know. And I think that's probably it. I think that's my shortlist. So there's the